All right, good morning. It is Monday. It is May 12th. Quickly coming up on the halfway point in the month of May. Hard to believe, or maybe it's easy to believe. Hopefully, you guys all had a wonderful Mother's Day. Thanks to all the moms out there. Here's what we're going to be talking about here today. We've got the chance for more thunderstorms, not just in Alabama, but the southeast. A few of those could be on the stronger side. And then we pivot the weather headlines just a bit. We talk about warmer temperatures, summer like. Who is reaching 90? Let's dive into it. Here's a look. It's about 9 o'clock here, Central Time. Of course, the feature of note there is that low that's been spinning all by itself, pumping in tropical air to the southeast, responsible for high rain totals and a few strong thunderstorms over the weekend as well. Some suspected tornadoes in the Florida Panhandle and into southeastern Alabama. Closer look there at the regional view. And again, you look at the motion around this surface low, and where are winds coming from in Alabama? They're coming from the Gulf, which means they're full of moisture, and plenty of energy is going to be around as we head into the afternoon to develop those showers and thunderstorms. Current temperatures as it stands now, very uniform across the entire region. We got 60s, going to be in the 70s here pretty soon. We're looking at temperatures here today, very much tied to when and where we see that rainfall, so some variability with the highs for sure. So here's our upper level pattern. I want to talk about this because this is important in understanding really how things are going to work. So you look here at what we have later this afternoon. There's that low positioned over the Mississippi Delta. As we progress through the next couple of afternoons and into the day on Wednesday, we're likely to see the overall pattern switching. So you see that weak ridge there in southern Texas by the middle of the week. That's going to be the feature of note and what's going to bring us warmer temperatures. The upper level low is starting to lose its steam and moves well off towards the Great Lakes in New England by Wednesday afternoon. We move into the day on Thursday, and this is at about 3 o'clock. Where's that ridge at? Well, right here, and it's beginning to build across the southeast. Warmest temperatures will be closest to the ridge, parts of southern Louisiana and southern Mississippi, southern Alabama as we get closer to the weekend. And speaking of, let's go ahead to Friday, 3 o'clock. And once again, we're looking at the warmest temperatures coinciding with those orange colors there. And they'll be around for the weekend, it looks like. The question's going to be, can we get any rain in here to disturb that ridge? And that's going to be a question I think we visit all week. We'll get to that extended forecast. I want to talk about today. The SPC's to find a marginal risk for much of eastern Alabama here today. All of Georgia, parts of South Carolina, even Tennessee. For our purposes here, we're going to take a closer look at Alabama. That marginal threat includes areas like Clanton, Montgomery, Troy, Columbus, LaGrange, Sylacauga, Gadsden, Anniston, Huntsville, Center, and you can see it basically borders that I-65 stretch in east later on this afternoon. And really the thinking here is, okay, the sun comes out, we have instability. Will it be enough to get thunderstorms over that threshold to that strong or severe level? Let's look at instability values, and you look here, and we're going to be, having some decent instability later on today. So some of these storms might be able to pulse up and give us some gusty winds, some hail later on today. And again, you see some of those higher instability totals there near Montgomery later on today, near Birmingham just to the east. And that's kind of the thinking with the chance of stronger thunderstorms. Again, overnight tonight we lose instability, so anything we get during the overnight is going to be just spotty showers, and then we get into Tuesday afternoon, and instability is far less. That's why I don't think we will really see the potential for any strong thunderstorms on Tuesday afternoon, but something we'll watch nonetheless, and that'll pretty much be the end of our rain threat here as we head into the middle of the week. So let's go to our futurecasts. We'll start this one 3 o'clock later on today. There's that low. There are the thunderstorms that are going to be across the southeast, particularly here in central Alabama. Zoom in on that, and you notice the nature of this. It's not a big rain shield, right? It's pretty widespread, and that means you might get the rain where you're at, but your neighbor might not, and that can sometimes be a frustrating part of the forecast as we move forward. A look ahead to Tuesday afternoon, and there you have once again the scattered thunderstorms across central Alabama. And this will probably be a decent coverage day, both days. And then we get into Wednesday. and that low has now shifted. It's moved off to the north and east. The focal point of the rain is going to be over the mid-Atlantic region, and we start to dry out as that ridge sets in here. Late in the week's interesting because we've got this cold front approaching. And the ridge, if it's strong enough, will deflect this cold front, meaning it won't be able to get into the southeast. It won't give us rain. However, it looks like Friday early morning into the afternoon, there's going to be that boundary just north of here. So look for northern Alabama, the Tennessee Valley, to potentially see some showers and thunderstorms there. You'll see the same sort of setup as we head into Saturday, where there's rain depicted off to the north, but not necessarily getting down towards that I-20 corridor. Southern Alabama, you're going to stay dry. Southern Georgia, southern Mississippi, you'll be far enough south. The question will be I-20 and points north. Can we get any rain late in the week that might douse those 90-degree readings? Speaking of rain, look at our totals. This is the Weather Prediction Center's outlook for the next 7 days. And bullseye there over Fayette, Walker, Marion, Winston County, 1 to 2 inches. And understand, it's very hard to quantify rain totals when you have a setup like this because it's going to be all over the map. You're going to have spots that have heavier rain over a short period of time. You're going to have areas that are dry. But what this tells me is we're going to see additional rain, especially north of US 80 over the next 2 days, a bit drier as you head towards the Wiregrass, Mobile, and southern Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. So this afternoon, we're looking at, again, the chance of scattered strong thunderstorms. We showed you the eastern side of the state most likely with that. Much of central Alabama is probably in the mid-70s, maybe upper 70s. Better chances of 80 once you get down to Montgomery, Troy, Andalusia, Dothan, even Mobile. And, again, very much tied to the rain. When it comes, how much there is, and does it stifle temperatures in a big area. Tonight, back down to where we've been, anywhere from 58 to about 65 all across the state. Tuesday afternoon, with those scattered thunderstorms again focused in central northern Alabama, you'll see what our high temperatures look like. Again, once we get into the afternoon, they're going to be tied to the timing of the rain. It looks like the timing could be a bit sooner on Tuesday, which could mean our highs don't get quite to the same level. We'll be warmer with lower rain chances across the Wiregrass, down near Mobile, and the Gulf Coast as we look to stay mainly dry Tuesday afternoon. So let's go to the rest of the week here in our temperature outlook. This is Wednesday at 3 o'clock, showing those highs back into the mid-80s, even some upper 80s over the Black Belt region. Demopolis, Marengo, Sumter County could be in the upper 80s. Same over near Tuscaloosa, while we have slightly cooler air in the northeastern corner of the state. Thursday afternoon, same deal, 3 o'clock. We're looking at those highs. It's going to be warmest to the south and west. And again, where that ridge is important. And the ridging is going to be focused Louisiana, Mississippi, western Alabama. So our 90s might be skewed to the southwestern side of the state on Thursday and even into Friday. I think Friday might be our best bet of seeing 90s all across the state. If you're up in the Tennessee Valley, I think we stay cooler, probably below 90 degrees. But I think much of the state's going to have the potential to reach 90. And for some of us, that would be the first 90-degree reading of the year. Into the weekend we go. And again, depending on if that rain can settle further south than the Tennessee Valley, will depend on how warm our temperatures get, but I would say mid to upper 80s are possible through this entire forecast stretch. And an extended outlook of our temperatures showing that we're going to be right at or just above average, at least the probability is for southern Alabama. Once you get to I-20 and points north, pretty close to average, which this time of year would put us in the middle 80s. So certainly a warm setup here, and one that we will watch very closely as we progress forward here over the next several days. So that's a look at your morning forecast here on this Monday. Hopefully you have a great day. We'll have another update coming later this afternoon. Have a great day.